Okay, 9.4a, we are digging into trigonometry. And we're starting off with the tangent ratio. Let's start off with some review. Number one, what does ratio mean? A ratio is a fraction. Number two, what does opposite mean in geometry? An opposite kind of just means the furthest away from, like furthest from. And number three, what does adjacent mean next in geometry? Adjacent means next to. If you're adjacent to someone, like your neighbors. So the first one is our trigonomic ratio is a ratio of the lengths of the two sides, so keyword lengths, of the two sides of a right triangle. Basically the two sides, if I call this A, B, C, the ratio, and this is a leg, remember this is a leg, this is a leg, and this is a hypotenuse. What the trigonomic ratio is, we start off here with where the hypotenuse, or it could start off at C, it could be A or C, it doesn't matter. And basically the angle is, we're talking about this angle. Angle A is the ratio of one leg over this being the opposite leg over the adjacent leg. And my trigonomic ratio is my opposite leg over my adjacent leg. We can only take a trigonomic ratio of an angle starting with the starting point, and it only works if we have the legs. Okay, only works if we have the legs using the tangent ratio. The other trigonomic, the sine and cosine, we use opposite and adjacent legs and the hypotenuse, and we'll get into that. So first, my tangent ratio. The ratio is the ratio of the opposite leg to the adjacent leg So here, if I were to find tangent of A, so A is here, then I want the opposite. My opposite is this. So this is CB over my adjacent. Adjacent is what's next to it. Adjacent would be over BA. However, if I were to do it for angle C is right here. My opposite of angle C is BA, and my adjacent would be CB. It depends on which angle you're working with. Tangent. When you think about tangent, think of TOA. TOA. Tangent, opposite over adjacent. TOA. The big long form you want to remember is SOHCAHTOA, but right now, TOA. So let's try this out. Write the tangent ratio of each acute angle. Leave as reduced fractions. Okay, so the first one, if the keyword acute angle. So let's do angle. We have angle X and angle Z. So angle X, so tangent of X equals opposite, so that is YZ, over adjacent, which is YX, which is the same thing as saying YZ is 15 over 20. If I divide tangent of X 15 over 20 divided by 5 on both the numerator and the denominator. This gives me 3/4. Tangent of z, tangent of z, my opposite is yx over yz. And I've already simplified it to a point. It's just going to be the flip of this, which is 4/3. Let's try the next one. Tangent, let's do A, C. So tangent of A is my opposite, so which is 27 over my adjacent, which is 36. I'm going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by, let's say, 9. So tangent of A equals 3/4. And then tangent of C, the opposite is 36 on top. Opposite over adjacent. So tangent of C gives me 4/3. You see this where everything flips. All right, let's do y and x again. Z and x. Apologize. So let's do z first. Tangent of z, opposite of that is 18. Adjacent of that is 30. Gonna divide both by 6. So tangent of z is 3/5. That means tangent of x is the inverse of that, gives me 5/3. Okay, let's try out some more. Try it out. Try the tangent ratio for each acute angle. Write your answers as reduced ratios and round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so now they want us to round, not leave it in as fractions, but round. So here, let's do tangent of C first. Opposite is 36. Adjacent is 27. If I reduce this, first we want to reduce it with our fractions. So divide by 9 and 9. This gives me 4/3. And if I divide by 4/3, tangent of C is about 1.3. Tangent of A then is then the flip of 4/3, which is 3/4. And tangent of A must then equal about 0.8. Let's do number 5. So let's start off with A here. So tangent of A, opposite by adjacent, so it's 12 over 9. Divide both by 3. So tangent of A, 12 divided by 3, that's 4/3. A then is about 1.3. That means tangent of C is the other one, C, we get 3/4. That also means tangent of C, put that in the calculator, 0.8. Okay, last one. Let's start with A. Tangent of A, the opposite is 14, so tangent of A is 14 over 48. We can divide both by, let's say, 2. So this gives me 7 over 24. If I put that in the calculator, 7 divided by 24 is about 0.3. Tangent of C then, remember we're using the acute angles, it's then 24 over 7, which then is about 3.4. We have known the side lengths of all the examples so far. If we know an angle, then we can use our calculator to find how big or small the ratios of the sides should be. So the tangent of an angle. So before, all these things that we put in, A, C, B, those are angles. Is the same thing as the opposite leg, opposite over adjacent, TOA. Remember, use TOA. So if we just punch this into the calculator, try it out, use the calculator, put it to 4 decimal places. We type it in, tangent 35. This should give us 0.7002 2. This already gives us the decimal. Tangent of 45, punch it in, gives us 1. Tangent of 100 gives us negative 5.6713. And tangent of 5 gives us a 0.0875 when we punch it into the calculator.